My fight to live, or my fight for survival. When I was taken into hospital by emergency ambulance in October 2019, I knew I was ill, but I didn't know what with really. I knew I'd been drinking too much, I hadn't been able to function very well. It was all at some points, and I got taken into hospital. I met a friend of mine down there who now recalls that I looked like a skeleton under a blanket, to be fair. I'd lost so much weight, I felt terrible, absolutely dreadful. I've been feeling pretty bad for about 12 months, to be fair. But it got to the point where I had to ring 999 because I thought I can't exist like this anymore. I was not eating, I was completely deconditioned, drinking all the time, 24 hours a day really, on and off. I got to the hospital and they do this triage thing now, where you get seen. I had this huge, what I thought was a beer belly, but it was hard to the touch. And I saw this thing called ambulatory care where they send you home after seeing you. I thought, you can't do that, you've got to see me, and I was sort of panicking, I was so anxious being in hospital. And I had 2 blankets over me, it was freezing cold. It's always cold in Newcastle anyway, but it was really cold this October day. I was sitting in the sort of foyer of A&E, eventually I got seen. About 10 hours later, nobody tells me at this point what's wrong with me. I need to be admitted to a ward. So I got admitted to a ward. It was the acute medical ward of the RVI in Newcastle, which is a major hospital up here. And I still didn't know what was wrong. So I got in this bed. I was pretty much scared of my wits. I'd rarely been admitted to hospital, only once before when I broke my arm when I first joined the police. That was a long time ago. And I knew it was quite a straightforward thing. Broken arm, we'll fix it, put metal plates, and that was it, you know. This time I didn't know what was wrong. I was completely and utterly detached from reality, to be fair. Going to this bed, and they just gave me something to eat, really, a cup of tea, some water. Then they came and took some blood. It went on for about 36 hours. I never got any sleep. You don't sleep in hospital. And I still didn't know what was wrong with me. Nobody told me it was anything to do with drinking, really. They just said, you're ill and that's it, you've got to stay here. Fair enough. I'm used to taking orders, if that makes sense. So I thought I'm in the best place. I've been feeling horrendous prior to this for months and months and months. And about 2 o'clock in the morning, this male nurse came along. He said, we're going to take some fluid off you. I said, what do you mean fluid? He said, well, this stomach you've got is full of fluid. And I didn't know what it was. And then this young doctor came along a little bit later and he said, I'm going to just put this incision in your abdomen and I'm going to stick this needle in your head. The needle about that long, maybe 12 inches long, and very thin, like a knitting needle. He said, I'm going to make this incision in your stomach, it'll bleed a little bit. So he numbed the area and put this needle in, and he had this needle was actually attached to a bag, like you know, like colostomy bag type thing. And then this fluid started to come out. It was like the colour of wheat, really, sort of yellow, and it kept coming out. This went on all night, and I kept saying to the nurse, you know, what's going on here? She said, just sit still, we'll sort the thing out, we'll empty this, or we'll empty that, because there was so much fluid coming out of me. They didn't tell me that much then. They were very busy. Well, hospital's always busy. And that went on for about 6 to 8 hours, I think. And I got loads and loads of fluid off. I actually saw my stomach come down gradually. Okay. Over the time, it takes a long time. It didn't just come off like a hose pipe, you know. So that when they got that off, I felt a bit better. So I had a lot of pain, you know, with this stomach. And a few of the lads in the pub had said, you know, you look terrible. Your stomach's all massive. But I still had this hernia. I had a hernia as well with it. So anyway, that was the first thing. Then eventually in the morning, I felt a little bit better. Still nobody told me what was wrong with me. Then somebody came along and put a drip in me, which I thought was just a saline drip. Turned out to be something else. I was still taking blood every sort of 12, 18 hours, and I was still doing my signs, my vital signs every 4 hours. You know, your oxygen level, your blood pressure, all this sort of thing. And I knew I was ill, but I didn't know how ill. Because I wasn't really au fait with the hospital procedures, really. I'd been to hospitals a number of times when I was when duty in the police in London, but I wasn't a patient then. It's different when you're a patient, isn't it? So I kept asking for information. They said, sit tight, you'll be fine. I told them about my drink problems. So I feel like I'm withdrawing. So no, you're not withdrawing, you'll be fine. Nobody should have given me anything for that. And I found out later the saline drip was for something else. I was not saline drip, the drip was for something else. So they drained all that off. They've got about 26 litres, which is a hell of a lot of fluid. That's 26 kilos in weight of fluid. So immediately I felt better, you see. I don't know how long the fluid had been building up for. A couple of guys from the pub came in. They see me and said, "Oh, you look a bit better." I thought, "Oh, that'd be good. I'll be out in a couple of days, you know." Got the fluid off. I'll be able to get my drinking sorted. It'll get me off the drink, and I'll, just withdraw medically. They give me a detox even. I never had one. Anyway, that never happened. So they moved me to another ward about a day or so later, and this doctor came in. Just very matter of fact, she just popped in this room like I was in a room on my own. He just said, "By the way, I'm going off duty now. I just let you know you've got you're seriously ill with liver disease. You're going to stay here for another 2 weeks, and then you will have to be seen at the Freeman Hospital, which is a specialist liver hospital." I'm kind of panicking now. So I'm thinking, who will I ring first? My daughter, my parents. Eventually around my parents. They were shocked, to say the least. So was I. Massive. I was just in a panic. My daughter, she was in tears. They all knew something was wrong. We were all aware of my drinking. Went on from there. I got discharged a couple of weeks later, and then I was under the care of the Freeman Hospital then, which is the liver people. They said it looks really bad. When you went to hospital, you had ascites fluid and spontaneous bacterial peritonitis. Well, nobody told me that in the first hospital. Apparently that's fatal. It can be fatal. 50-50 chance of living I had. So when I got a follow-up with that, there was loads of things wrong with me. And then I progressed from there, went to different hospitals, had a few procedures done. And I was seriously ill for 2 years, between 2019 and 2021. And then I had a couple of procedures done where they took the hernia away, I took all the fluid off. So I was still going back every 3 weeks to get the fluid drained off. Still feeling terrible, looking terrible, couldn't walk, was in a wheelchair, all these sort of things. Now I'm going to talk a bit more about how I got well again. So 2021 comes along. I'm still living at my parents' house. I couldn't take care of myself. Barely eating, really, just trying to, focus on staying alive. And I thought, well, what am I staying alive for? I had suicidal thoughts. I felt dreadful. But that got over, and eventually felt a little bit better. 2021, July 14th, my dad passed away, and I thought, I've got to get myself moving. I spoke to the doctors a couple of times, said, well, you can start to walk a little bit, just take it easy and push yourself more each day. So from then I did that every day. I went out a couple of times on my own, which was a massive thing for me. I hadn't been out on my own for months, or for a couple of years. I'd just been in the hospital system, you see. Got more confident when I went out. I went fishing, actually, something I'd never done for years. And when you've been in hospital for 2 years, on and off, you've never been out the door of a house, even a parents' house, other than to get patient transport to go to hospital or 999 ambulance for various problems I had. Just to stand by the river, I couldn't stand very long because I had a very weak body, really. So I managed to find a seat to sit on. I just put the rod in the water. I knew I wasn't catching anything, but just to sit there by the river and people walking by with their dogs, as if I'd won the lottery. I've got a chance. I might have a chance of surviving this, And then I thought, I've got to do this every day. And I used to get a taxi from my parents' house down, or my mother's house by then, down. I thought, I've got to get myself fit for my dad's funeral, get myself a suit. Daughter came from Manchester. I used to fight my way into a suit. Got the funeral, then that got over. I started to feel a little bit better. I was doing a little bit more walking by then. This constant fight for survival goes on today. When you're an alcoholic, you've got to fight every day for this. Because the disease will just sit there and wait to catch you out again. So as 2021 progressed, I managed to get back in my own flat. I had completely gutted because in the past, the floors had sunken in, I had no hot water, all that sort of thing. I've been through that in a few other videos. I was living in squalor, basically. Got the flat that went run about 2 years ago. When COVID was all finished and whatnot, I started to go abroad a little bit and get on the train. Thought I'd live my life again, and every day was a fight. I've got to be careful with my diet, my weight. I've got to try and exercise every day, try and get enough sleep, which I can't do at the moment. I'm not a very good sleeper. But I actually feel, again, like I was when I was younger, because I've been 5 years off it now. See, this constant fight for survival will be every day. And I've seen some of the subscribers mention that they've been off for 10, 12, 15 years, had 1 or 2 drinks, and then they're back to square one again. That's the fight for survival. You've got to keep focused on not having a drink. Even myself, with all the procedures I've had done, the 2 years in and out of hospital, the now 6 monthly checks, I still think, oh no, it's like that one. Can't control it. And I've tried it 100 times, it's failed. Don't pick up the drink. The fight continues. It'll continue every day of my life. Unless you're focused, this drink will kill you. And you've got to be 100% on point with all the time. Because it's just waiting down. I've lost many friends, colleagues, ex-colleagues to drink. I've had numerous emails, messages from people who have lost loved ones at the age of 29, 34, 45, all this sort of things. So probably the biggest killer of younger people, I'm talking about younger, under 60 here in the UK. Because a lot of alcohol-related disease goes down as pneumonia. If you've got liver problems, kidney problems, pancreatitis, your immune system is pretty weak. So anything that comes along, heavy colds and all that, can develop into something much more serious. Lung disease, all that sort of thing. They all have an impact on the liver. Even having a routine operation has an impact on the liver. So be careful. If you need any advice, then get in touch with me. I'm not a doctor, but I've been through virtually every experience you could be through as an alcoholic. The good and the bad. There's not many good ones, to be fair. The only good thing that's come out of it is I'm here. Here to see my daughter have a baby. I've got a new relationship, which is fantastic, and I've got a new life. You can do the same. You're not on your own here. There's 5,000 people here to help you. I put a little post on a check-in thing. Check in every day. It takes you 1 minute to put I'm okay. If you need any help, post I need some help. Somebody on this site will help you. On this channel will help you. I guarantee it. If you benefit, then please subscribe. Leave me a comment if you wish. I'll speak to you all very soon.